So Excel day 2. So start by opening the Excel program. Just click Excel day 2. You are going to talk about formatting text. Start by blank workbook. Maximize. We are going to enter data into these cells. So to just enter text, click in the cell that you want to start from. So in my case, I want to start from cell A3 here. I'll skip the first 2 rows. I'll use them later on. So I'll just create a student's mark list. So start by typing the name of the student, the subject. This is English, this is Kiswahili. So these are the column titles. You can, as you can see, this Kiswahili column. Column C is, you can adjust. First click outside in an empty cell, put the cursor between C and D, position the cursor between the two, then you can adjust by dragging so that that column fits properly. So you just continue typing the titles of the columns. This is biology, this is chemistry. So if the column does not fit, you just put your cursor there, then you drag. As simple as that. So start by entering the names of the student. Enter the marks that the student got. So like that. Now remember, the first 2 rows I left them blank because I needed to know up to which column my details will fit. So I can select the cells, the first row up to column F. Ensure you selected up to column F only. Do not select the entire row. Do not click to select the entire row. So just drag from cell A1 up to cell F1. Then you click on Home tab, you click on merge and center. So merge and center. So remember, to merge cells is to combine them into one big cell. So you can type the title of the school. In the second row, I want also to add another subtitle. Just select, so cell A2 to F2, you merge and center. So after you finish, you can format your text just like we did in the previous programs. You can change the text to be bold. You can use the keyboard shortcut Control B. So Control B, it will change that text into bold. You can increase the size of the text up to your desired size. So I have my details well displayed there. You can still increase size. Now I want you to be able to apply borders to these cells. So select your data, select your information, and I want you to apply borders. So on Home tab, under the font group, click on the bottom border icon. This is the bottom border icon. You click just the arrow adjacent to it, click, and you will see different options. I want you to click on all borders. Click on it, click on all borders. You will see that then that lines are now visible. The lines in your document are now visible. If you want to format those lines, still that arrow adjacent to the borders icon, click, then you can change the line color. You want to change it to red, for example. you can just click once on the color that you need. You click again on all borders. For it to take effect, click on all borders. You will see the changes. So to format the line style, click again line style. You can increase the size, you can make them double, you can select a thicker line. Just go back and click on all borders. You will see the changes affecting your work. Now select this. These are the column headings, so select them properly. So column cell A3 up to F3, you select like that. Then we want to go back to home tab. We have orientation. I want you to be able to orient your text to face up. So angle your text to face up. You can center align your text. You can position the text above the cell, at the middle of the cell, or at the bottom of the cell. So make sure you're able to apply orientation, or this orientation you can apply at certain degrees. So just click on format cell alignment. You've been told to apply 45 degrees. You can just type here, or you can just click 45 degrees. Type degrees, you click on OK. So you'll find that that's how your details will be displayed. So I prefer you use rotate the clockwise or anti-clockwise, or rotate text to face up like that. So I say to adjust the column width, you just position the cursor between the two columns, you drag. If I wanted column C to be bigger, you just drag. So you can adjust like that. The same applies to a row. Position the cursor at the border of the two rows, then you just drag. You'll find now you are widening the rows. You want to adjust the size of the row equally. Just select all the rows. You just point to the first one, row 4. I want to adjust row 4 to 9. You go back to home tab, click on format. Instead of dragging, you can go to format, row height. So the height, then you can adjust. I want them to be at 20. You click on OK. So that's another way you can adjust the row height of your information. Now I want you to be able to shade cells. Just select the cell. You can click on shading, choose the shading style that you want. Click on the detail, choose the shading style that you prefer to work. Now I can format the data in history to be green or red, just the way I've used, and I want you to transfer that format to the rest of the cells. Remember, we have the format painter. Just select one cell that we want to get the information from. I want all the details to appear like that, red in color and centered aligned. So select that, click on format painter, come and drag to the rest of the cells. So you will find that all that information has changed to red and has been centered aligned, because you've used the format painter from one place to another. So in here you can shade cells just as we've done, and you can also use the format painter to transfer details. Now if these figures, you've been asked to change these figures to currency. Right now they are just a general number. On home tab, under the numbers group, these figures are just as a general number. You can change them into currency. You will find that now the figures have the currency symbol. You can still change them to general. The figures are now a general number. If you want to change the currency to a different currency, you've been told apply dollar symbols. You just click again, more number formats. So here under the symbols, you can just change. Pick on the symbol that you want to use. If it is the dollar, you search for the English United States dollar. So I want you to be able to change figures into currency. You can increase the decimal places of figures. You can reduce if your cells appear like this. If your cells appear like this, this is because of the size of the column. Remember, we need to resize column E. You can just put your mouse between these two columns and drag, or you just select that column, go to home tab, format again, and you can also be able to adjust the column width. So this is 10, you can adjust to 13, click OK, so that your information fits entirely. Now, so you can, so as we said, you can increase or reduce decimal places after selecting those figures. So to remove the same, you just select, you can just go back and set them as general to remove all those accounting information that you've applied to those numbers. So currency, put them as general numbers. Now I want you to be able to auto format your work. To auto format will make your work to look presentable. What you will do to auto format, just select from the column headings. So from name, English, those are the column headings. Do not include the merged cells. So select from the column headings, go to home tab, click on home tab on the menu, you click on format as table, you select one style, one nice style that you prefer, that is to auto format. So you start by selecting your information the way the teacher said. Don't include the merged cell, just begin from name like that, then you go to format as table, you pick one as suitable, that's to auto format. One can also be told to use conditional formatting. Select the figures, conditional format, so that you are formatting those cells that meet a certain condition. So conditional formatting, I want those cells that are above, the figures are above maybe 50%, 70%. So I'll go to greater than and say format cells that are greater than 70%. Fill them or put a red border around it. I want it to have custom format. Proceed to fill. I want you to fill these cells with a color. So those, when you click on OK, those cells that are above 70%, you can see that they have been formatted. You've used conditional formatting in them. So I want you to be able to use format tables as you can use conditional formatting. You can use this to resize columns. You can use this to hide columns. Hide column D, select column D, go to format. You can hide this column, hide column. To unhide, you still go to format. You can unhide that column. So ensure you're able to hide and unhide. You can select more than one column. Select English, hold down Control and select chemistry. Go to format on the menu. You can click on hide columns. To unhide, make sure you go back to format, that is on home tab. Click on the format command, then you can unhide those columns. When you are finished, you can now save your work properly. So want you to be able to insert columns also. You want to add another subject before biology, you'll just right click on the column heading, right click before on column D. Then when you click on insert, a new column will be inserted there. You can proceed to add the name of the subject. If it is agriculture, you can still put the figures as you please. So that's how you add the columns in Excel. So like that, we find that those figures that are above 70, we use conditions, so they are being formatted like that. If it is a row, right click on the row that you want to insert a row above, right click on row 6. When you click on insert, a blank row will be added. You can proceed to add a name or a new student in that particular cell. So in that order, like that. So make sure you can be able to format your details. You can be able to merge cells appropriately, selecting and merging cells, merge and center, merge across, merge cells. To merge is just to combine several cells into one large cell. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. You can now save your work. Thank you for listening.